What if WOBBUFFET was in Gen 1 Ubers? Yeah, you can see the moveset. That's Splash. It can't learn Splash. But it technically can't learn Mirror Coat either. And Destiny Bond and Safeguard weren't in Gen 1? So, in order to make this work, I figured I would just give Mirror Coat as a signature move. But even then, I think 2 signature moves is a bit of a stretch. So between Destiny Bond and Safeguard, I didn't bother. So this guy only really has 3 moves. Counter, Mimic, Mirror Coat. Yeah, this is a Pokemon that most certainly exists. And you would be a fool if you tried to deny his presence. But what does he do? Well, calling this video Gen 1 Ubers isn't really a joke. Because WOBBUFFET has absolutely nothing going for it in Generation 1 Overuse. And that's because of how Counter works. Which I guess I need to go for a different Pokemon to show Counter. But for Counter, it only works for normal and fighting moves. So for WOBBUFFET here, if a Pokemon uses Earthquake, or Drill Peck, or what other physical moves are there? Rock Slide, that's gonna be bad. But hey, he's a Psychic type. If the Gengar tries to go for Lick, you're gonna be alright. But luckily, I did some testing beforehand, and for the sake of WOBBUFFET, it is very grateful that Mirror Coat works normally. So Mirror Coat, even in Gen 1 custom games, can work on any special move. So why is the video called Gen 1 Ubers? Well, that's because, unlike in OU, I think WOBBUFFET has an actual niche there. Just like how technically Golbat, Aerodactyl, and even to a very, very, very lesser degree Ditto also have things they can be doing there. Is it good? That's actually a really good question. I'm gonna say probably not, but Golbat, Ditto, and Aerodactyl are also probably not as well. I will say that WOBBUFFET is debatably the better one out of all of them. Or actually, I'm just gonna say this right now. WOBBUFFET just gets rid of Golbat's niche altogether. Because what if I told you WOBBUFFET was the best Mewtwo counter in the game? I can't hear what you're saying right now. I'm just gonna assume you tried saying something out loud. You're probably saying something like, gee, Groundback, that sounds really interesting. And I'm sure that WOBBUFFET is a great Pokemon in Ubers. But wait, there's one problem. I thought WOBBUFFET was only good in Ubers when it has Shadow Tag. And that's true. It is only really good when it has Shadow Tag. However, yeah, no, that's actually just a huge blow. That alone could potentially damn WOBBUFFET. But I do think with the nature of Gen 1 Ubers, where Mewtwo is such a threatening Pokemon, a very centralizing Pokemon, it makes it easier. And I feel like it makes more WOBBUFFET usable here than it would be in Generation 2 Ubers. And that's a tier where Snorlax is the best Pokemon. As well as, at least I'm assuming, Counter working like how it does in normal games. I'm not sure if I should just explain the Mewtwo matchup, or if I should just show it. And it's probably easier just to show it. So, as you see here, WOBBUFFET can... he can sit there. He can use Mimic. That alone's already pretty funny. Because with Mimic, you can copy Mewtwo's Amnesias. You can copy its Recover. So with just that alone, WOBBUFFET's already capable of potentially stalling. It can use Psychic for Stab, I guess. It has like a really bad special, but you can technically use it. Or, I guess Thunderbolt or Ice Beam. Not really that good. you're mostly hoping to get either Recover or Amnesia. That alone is already pretty good. But as you can see here, Mewtwo used a Thunderbolt, and it did about half. Miracle just KOs. Easily. Easily. And before you're wondering, what about Mewtwo with Max Special? You already get that with 2 Amnesias, or at the very least, you're in the 900s. You can go for Amnesia there. And Thunderbolt still doesn't kill. Even with Max Special, Mirror Coat will always win. So as you can probably tell, that's kind of a big deal. That WOBBUFFET can always 1v1 a Mewtwo with, like, good special. Like, literally with 2 Amnesias, WOBBUFFET can survive that. And even if, hypothetically, you can use Amnesia another time, well, I'm pretty sure you're in danger of the glitch where your Pokemon's attack goes back to 1. However, if we ignore that, I'm pretty sure WOBBUFFET would still survive. So what does Mewtwo do against WOBBUFFET exactly? Well, you can try stalling it out. You can go for... Well, only really Amnesia exactly. I don't remember how many power points Mirror Code has. Let's put this back into Gen 2. It has 32 power points. And Amnesia has how many? It has 32 as well. Okay, that's interesting. But it doesn't even matter, because you can try spamming Amnesias, but again, WOBBUFFET has Mimic. So not only can it also potentially just get those Amnesias and just stall out, and if WOBBUFFET gets Amnesias up, Mewtwo's definitely not killing it. But same goes for Recover. Or even like Psychic, like you try to spam Amnesias, Psychic is just a move you can just keep using. So what about a submission? You can try to get past the Mirror Coats, I guess. You can use a fighting move that does no damage. But oh wait, it's a fighting move, so counter can technically work on it. So for WOBBUFFET versus Mewtwo, it's either you can just try to attack and you won't kill, and Mirror Coat probably will kill you. Or even with Max Special, you have to switch out. I don't know about you, but that alone sounds like WOBBUFFET has a pretty decent niche. Because, I don't even feel like you're sacrificing a lot. Like, you could still run Jinx, and Mew, and Mewtwo, and Snorlax, and Chansey, and still have a WOBBUFFET. It just seems like it's just good for forcing Mewtwo to switch out. And I know what you're thinking, but that's just, like, not accomplishing much, isn't it? Well, I'm gonna say that technically, even if the WOBBUFFET, if the only thing it's doing is either forcing the Mewtwo to stall out its power points, or if it's forcing the Mewtwo to switch out, I'm gonna say at that point the WOBBUFFET's already done its job. Like, it was kind of awkward trying to make a replay where that happened. So I didn't have one where Mewtwo can set up a lot. But even if, like, WOBBUFFET forces Mew to switch in, not even that bad. Because for one, you have Reflect Aerodactyl. Reflect Aerodactyl means that WOBBUFFET and Aerodactyl working together can always beat Mewtwo and Mew. That's pretty radical, wouldn't you say? But for real though, even if the Mew switches in and gets a free Sword Stance up because WOBBUFFET can't do anything against it, I'm gonna say that is an excellent trade versus having to deal with a Mewtwo with Max Special. I would gladly deal with a Mew that's standing up than Mewtwo. Because Mew, there's a lot more things that you can do that really counter it. Or not counter it, just sort of manage it, I guess you can say. For Mewtwo, if it has Max Special, and you don't have your Mewtwo set up yet, or even worse, your Mewtwo's dead, what do you do against it? Like, what the heck do you actually do against a Mewtwo? WOBBUFFET is, I think unironically, one of the better things you can send out against it. I could be wrong about that, But I'm just really interested to see what you guys have to think about Mewtwo. Or Mewtwo versus WOBBUFFET, I guess. Well, it's weird. And as you can see, I didn't even bother making other replays. Because there's no need to. WOBBUFFET will lose to pretty much literally everything else that isn't Mewtwo. And that's the weird part about it. Not gonna bother with Tauros because it has Earthquake, or I guess only Earthquake, because you can fight back with Miracle. Chansey, it's passive, you don't really want to set it either. So everything else WOBBUFFET just loses to horribly. So not even worth making a tier list for. It is only for Mewtwo exactly. But I feel just that one interaction was interesting enough to make its own video. This is off track. You can click off the video now if you don't care about non-what if stuff. But you should definitely check out Generation Jumble and join the Discord server. I think that the match I had today with Gobby was very cool. And I think you should check it out. I would really appreciate it. But that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. This is Groundback. And I look forward to hearing from you.